Hey folks, ever stand in front of a gigantic TV screen and wonder whether you're about to upgrade your movie nights or just buying a giant picture frame? I was in that exact spot last week, squinting at the specs of an 83-inch OLED that promises perfect black and a soundbar that claims to be the world's first Dolby Atmos FlexConnect. My friend was about to shell out a serious chunk of cash, and I could see the hesitation. Is this the kind of setup that actually makes a difference in a living room that's more medium-sized apartment than home theater? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's walk through what it really means to pair that massive OLED with LG's H7 soundbar, and whether you should hit that purchase button or keep looking. First off, the sheer size of an 83-inch screen changes how you experience both picture and sound. When you sit about 8 feet away, the TV's brightness boost really matters, especially if you have windows that let in a lot of natural light. The Brightness Booster Pro that LG touts does push the peak luminance up enough that you can see HDR highlights without washing out the deeper blacks. In practice, that means a bright scene like a daytime city chase still looks punchy, while a dark horror sequence retains its creep factor. However, that extra brightness comes at a cost. The TV's power draw spikes when you crank the volume, which can be noticeable on the electricity bill if you binge watch a lot of 4K content. Now, let's talk sound. The H7 soundbar is built around Dolby Atmos FlexConnect, which essentially means it can adapt its output depending on how many speakers you add later. Out of the box, it's a single-channel unit with a modest built-in subwoofer. In my own testing, dialogue clarity was surprisingly solid. The AI Sound Pro Plus engine seemed to focus on human speech, pulling out the nuances in a Netflix drama without making the rest of the mix feel tinny. If you're watching a fast-paced action film, the soundbar delivers a respectable sense of height, but the spatial audio effect feels more like an enhanced stereo than a full three-dimensional envelope. That's because the bar lacks side-firing drivers. You get height cues mainly from up-firing speakers, which work best in rooms where the ceiling reflects sound cleanly. For a room that's under 300 square feet, the H7's output can fill the space, but you'll notice a dip in bass depth after a few minutes of heavy low-frequency tracks, like explosions or deep rumble music. The built-in subwoofer is decent for its size, delivering a thump you can feel, but it won't replace a dedicated external sub that a true home theater enthusiast would want. If you have a larger living area or you love that chest-vibrating bass, you'll probably want to add LG's optional wireless subunits, which the FlexConnect system supports without any extra setup hassle. Connectivity is where the package shines, at least on paper. The soundbar plugs directly into the TV via HDMI eARC, so you get the full Dolby Atmos bitstream without any compression. I tried connecting a Fire TV stick, a gaming console, and a Blu-ray player all through the TV's HDMI ports, and the audio always routed through the H7 without any hiccups. The remote, however, can be a bit of a friction point. There's a separate bar remote that controls volume and source, but you still need the TV's remote for picture settings. If you're the type who likes a single unified remote, expect a small learning curve. On the flip side, the bar's AI processor does a nice job of auto-adjusting the volume based on scene changes, which is a relief during movies that swing from whisper-quiet dialogue to booming action. Who should buy this bundle? If you already own an 8K-capable TV and you live in a room where you can sit far enough back to truly appreciate an 83-inch display, the combination offers a step up from a traditional TV plus cheap soundbar setup. It's especially appealing for people who value AI-driven picture upscaling and want a straightforward way to add Dolby Atmos without buying a separate AV receiver. The bundle also makes sense for gamers who need low-latency audio. The HDMI eARC connection keeps the audio sync tight, so you won't notice a delay between what you see and what you hear. Who should skip it? If your living space is smaller than 250 square feet, the TV's size might be overwhelming, and the soundbar's base could feel thin after a while. Apartment dwellers with thin walls should also consider the potential noise spill. The H7's output is decent, but it can leak into neighboring units, especially in the low-frequency range. Additionally, if you're a true audiophile who demands a multi-channel speaker setup with powerful, dedicated woofers, The H7 alone may feel underwhelming, even though it supports add-in modules. Practical strengths. Picture quality is where the OLED really earns its keep: perfect blacks, vibrant colors, and AI upscaling that makes lower resolution streams look surprisingly sharp. The soundbar's dialogue enhancement makes binge-watching series a genuine pleasure.